I wish that dog would stop pooing on the lawn. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm seeing my consultant gynecologist because the menopause is kicking me in the face. It was a dynamic that I'd never seen before, but when I saw it in action, it was magical. I'm not going to pretend that this is just me. That would be nonsense. It's a process. It's a process, that's for sure. I love a copper kettle. I think they're fabulous. And the whole thing is set in a French farmhouse kitchen. It's beautiful and devastating in equal measure. This is my latest find. I think there are Toby jugs and Toby jugs, which means I've got 20 sweet pea plants. That's crazy. I will support them, of course, emotionally, mentally, physically. Very, I'm looking for the sun. Where are you? Oh, my mummy mug. I was very sad about that one. So I've got to kind of find a use for these, but I don't think I'll be able to. Anyway.
Acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child, so luminous and vibrant.
Well, this is exciting. It is before 6 a.m. and it's light. Still looks pretty cozy in there. Oh, someone's awake. It's early Wednesday morning and I managed to get a place on a yoga class. So I'm up and I'm going. But this is a gorgeous yoga class. It's the yin yoga that I think I've mentioned before. So it's just the holding the positions, very gentle positions, it's got to be said, but you hold them for sort of 3 minutes. So it's challenging at times, especially because my disc has collapsed. But the breath work and everything else that goes with it is, my word, talk about set you up for a good day. Okay. Oh. Let's do this. I've just finished the yoga class and it just changes everything, doesn't it? The breath and the stillness and the stretches, and God, can you just tell? I feel like I'm actually where I should be all the time, which is just that deep sense of presence and peace. It's quite emotional, isn't it? When we hold on so much throughout the week to everything, just hold on to ourselves, to our sanity, to our breath, keep it all up here in our throats. And then when we let it go, we're so close to just complete, what's that word? See, I can't even speak the word when you just, release. Release isn't the word, but yeah, gosh. Oh dear, it's got me today. And there's not even that much going on. The body never lies. So it's not necessarily that there's something going on, but the body's feeling something. It's very nice, actually. It's not scary or anything. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Got to go and do a whole day now. So a little bit of housekeeping. Demon Copperhead, our book club book. Again, I apologise profusely for not having finished it yet. I am loving this book so much and am grieving the fact that I have not finished it. As you know, because you watch these vlogs, there's always like lots going on. But I am obsessed with this book. It has, and I've said this already, it has this impending sense of doom that is breaking my heart all the way through it. The pace is incredible. The writing is incredible. This book is incredible. It's won all the awards, and rightly so. The story, it's absolutely killing me. And I love it, and I cannot wait to talk to you about it. But I've not finished it yet, and that is simply a time thing. So I'm a bad host, but I'm nearly there. Do that. Like, it's not been forgotten. It's this very, very long-winded way of me saying it's not been forgotten. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was my seasonal living course. That's almost finished. I haven't mentioned it for a couple of weeks. I've thoroughly enjoyed putting that together. I think I delayed it slightly as I wanted to get maybe further into the year. So we weren't just coming off the back of Christmas, because I think sometimes Christmas can be quite heady. That's covering, sort of cottage, country living throughout the seasons, but it's applicable to wherever you live. I've lived all over and in various different types of houses. I like a cottage the most, but this course is applicable to wherever you are, in whatever type, size, build of house you're in. And also it's applicable to whatever your lifestyle is. If you are retired, if you're working full time, if you have a partner, if you have children, if you are living alone, if you don't have children, it's just living. And it's drawing on the seasonality of living no matter where you are. I sometimes look at people that sort of give advice, and it's like, how to do this. And it's only applicable if you have their exact life. And I find that quite tricky to sort of relate to. So this isn't that. But I'll leave a link below in the description to this vlog, as I've left before, and you can sign up to be notified as soon as it's ready to go. It's almost like a sign of interest and a little bit of a wait list, or to be told when it's ready. So that's all the housekeeping I have for today. I feel very organised, very, very unorganised, but I'm feeling slightly organised. We have approximately 5 weeks until Easter. I'm hoping for good weather this Easter. Well, I'm hoping it's warmer than it is right now, which is it's between 3 and 5 degrees. It's bitterly cold out there. So because Easter is a little bit later, what's brilliant about that is that over the next sort of 4 or 5 weeks, I'm going to be taking you through my Easter projects. It's great fun for me to be able to do this. It sort of elongates the celebration for me, and I get to show you what I'm doing. So over the next 5 weeks, virtually every vlog is going to have some kind of a project in it. On the Thursday vlog, it will have a comprehensive, proper project or how-to. But then over the weeks on the Sunday vlog, it will be much more sort of process driven. So gathering things together, going through some ideas, showing you what I might try, and just hopefully some of that will inspire you. It will all be very, very English countryside, country cottage inspired, but you'd know that already. So let's start now, and I'll take you through some of my favourite cottagey items that I've either bought or collected fairly recently. I've just come in from doing the sweet peas actually, and it's cold. I'm cold to my bones actually. I think the whole of the cottage is really starting to come alive at the minute, and it's coming alive with flowers. It's coming alive with some things that I've taken out of storage. It's coming alive with a different colour palette, and that's what I wanted to show you today. Just some of the bits and pieces that I'm using to decorate the cottage for spring. But I can't be prescriptive in any way because I'm not an interior designer. I'm just somebody that loves being at home and that just tries to make use of what she has and what she likes. So although I think these are quite cottagey, you might disagree. I think the colour palette in a home, especially if you're, you know, like me and sort of potters about, I think the colour palette does change from season to season, or holiday to holiday, celebration to celebration. I know that at Christmas it was, you know, lots of, I mean, if you were here at that time, there's lots of greenery. I had lots of sort of muted, rich tones with the use of velvet ribbon, fairy lights, you know, that sort of thing. Right now, it's much more, when I say pastel, I don't want you to think it's sort of sickly, syrupy pastels, because I think these are fairly bold colours. But they are still quite pastel-y. This is my latest find. It's a Toby jug. I don't think this is real. I think there are Toby jugs and Toby jugs. There are no markings on it at all. So I should perhaps rename it a Toby style jug. If you know anything about Toby jugs, then do let me know. But the reason I got him was because I liked the shape and I liked the colours. My favourite colour combination, and it has been for years, is pink and green. So when I saw this little chap, pink and green, with his jolly face, I got him. I bought him in Petworth, and I'm really glad I did actually. He's great. And he's got my ranunculus and some beautifully smelling narcissus in here like this. The smell is just filling the room. When I was 12, I woke up in the middle of the night one night around this time of year with the most intense pain on my right hand side, yes. And it was appendicitis, and it had almost burst. But because it was this time of year, the flowers that I was sent were these. So whenever I smell these, it reminds me of spring and of getting better. The next thing I wanted to show you, my next find, which I absolutely love, is this dish here. Again, in those lovely sort of Eastery pastel colours or softer colours, but I don't think this is sickly at all. I just love this little dish. It's got a little cottage with flowers in the garden and trees. I think these look like little hollyhocks with perhaps some little sunflowers dotted about. But I love the colours. It's not too shallow either. It's quite deep, which means I could keep all manner of things in there. So this isn't new. This, I've got 3 of these actually. One with raspberry jam, one with strawberry jam, and one with apricot jam on. These are, I think these are earthenware, and they were painted, and I got these 3 at Ardingly Antiques, and I think that they were £20 each. Where's the other one? Oh, the other one's over there, and I've got one more somewhere. I've had these in the deli for years and years, and I like them in the deli, and I might take them back there actually. As you know, we're doing the deli refit, and they're going to suit the new space a lot more than they did before. And so I think that these pots will just come into their own fully. So this is not a recent find at all. This is about 3 years old, but I like this for the shape. And as it's much easier to buy flowers now, you know, you've got the tulips and all of the spring flowers, I tend to get this out more in the spring and summer than I do in the winter. It would look lovely with a Christmas arrangement in it. So I think I might try and remember to do that. But I like tulips in this. I like tulips and I love lilacs. I know apparently it's bad luck to bring lilacs into the house, but I've never listened to that. But tulips in this are wonderful, and I'll tell you why. I put the chicken wire in and maybe a little bit of foam so that they can sort of stick in there. But the reason I like the tulips in this is because they just sort of fall over the sides, especially if I cut them fairly short, not too short, but fairly short, and pack them. The trick with something like this and to have them falling over the sides is to pack them in. 6 tulips in there would look silly, but I found that a huge bunch of them, well supported, looks absolutely fabulous. So as soon as I've done that, I will film it and show you. And my last little goodie today is this copper kettle. This is a new purchase. So this was, I'm not sure, just a few quid, as was this. I think this was 6, and then the Toby jug was 6 as well, I think. But these were really, really inexpensive. I love a copper kettle. I think they're fabulous. I do like these at Christmas. But I couldn't resist getting it. Now, what I love to do, you can tell I'm growing a cutting garden, can't you? Because I'm getting loads of stuff that I can put flowers in. What I love to do with this is I don't fill the kettle up with water at all. I put the flowers in a bag with water and then I put the bag in the kettle. This does need a polish, so I will polish that. And as soon as I've got flowers in this, I'll show you. What I like to put in here are the taller ones, like delphiniums, foxgloves. I don't have an issue bringing foxgloves in. Maybe some peonies as well. But I love those. I wouldn't put a more delicate flower. A more sort of chunkier, larger, robust flower that could cope, because I think that this kettle can cope with a little bit of height. And I quite like copper in the summer. If you imagine a French farmhouse kitchen with all of its brightly coloured copper in the summer, there's a wonderful film with Juliette Binoche and Benoit Magimel, and it's new, fairly new. And the whole thing is set in a French farmhouse kitchen, and it is visually stunning. And I can't remember the taste of things. Please look it up. It's beautiful and devastating in equal measure. It's entrancing, it's quite hypnotic. But anytime I see any copper going for a song, I buy it. So as you know, I'm on a big drive to deer-proof the garden and to just grow some beautiful flowers this spring and summer. I'm not focusing so much on food, I don't think. If I can get another few beds down in my little patch, the no-dig beds down there, then I will absolutely maybe grow some peas if I'm not too late, some courgettes because they're super easy, and I might sort of head into some more root vegetable type things in the winter. But I think if I'm just keeping it all manageable, then I'll focus on a cut garden, sort of cottage garden flowers this summer. So as you know, I bought some plants. They're up there, they're out of the way of the deer. I bought some plants recently and I've kept them up there. They're fine outside, they've been overwintered. This patch here, that's my kitchen window and the back door, and then through there is the garage. The deer don't tend to come up here. And I've got these 2 pots here. I've also gone through a stage of breaking mugs. And I kind of thought to myself, but I need to use them for something out in the garden. So I put the handles in the mug. I don't know why I'm telling you all of this, but it's because they were still there in my pot. Yeah, so my mummy mug, I was very sad about that one. So I've got to kind of find a use for these, but I don't think I'll be able to. Anyway, I love this space outside the kitchen window and this gate here. I love the brickwork and the arch and just the whole bit. This here has been left. It has been neglected over the winter, 100%. It's got some moss on the ground, which can easily just be scraped up. So I'm not too worried about that. And then I've got these 2 pots here. Now in the past, I've had sweet peas in this one and I've had a dahlia in this one. Having The sweet peas at the back door was just lovely. They grew up. I didn't get a full sort of archway. I could have done if I'd have put sort of 2 pots on either side. But they were just really special, so I'm going to do that again. I don't know whether I will have room in the beds that I've got down there to have sweet peas. Sweet pea frames are very, very easy to make, and I'll show you how to make them. I mean, they're brilliant. I actually had a sweet pea frame how-to in my book, The Handmade Home. So I'll just draw on that. So I think I'm going to do more sweet peas in this one this year, and get another dahlia in there, because the sweet peas are just here, and my dahlia tubers from Farmer Gracie have arrived as well. So this is going to be a really easy planting out session. I'm going to prepare the pot. Now this has something growing on top of it. I think it's called Mind Your Business. I need to get my gloves on. Somebody in the comments, I don't think I've responded actually, sorry about that, but somebody reminded me in the comments to always wear gloves outside. I'd like to know more. Is it to protect, or is it to I always wear sunscreen on my hands anyway. I'm a big sort of sunscreen lover, but no, I'd like to know more. I might just pop that in there actually. What's that? There's birds fighting in the bushes. Can you hear them? They're all shouting at each other. Calm down, it's Friday. So you'll notice that 2 things. 1, this is a fairly large pot. And 2, I'm not emptying this entire pot out and refilling it with brand new soil compost. I'm not doing that because it gets very, very expensive to do that every single year, certainly when you're using pots that are this size. Also, I have found that if I reuse the soil sort of year to year, so I filled this up last spring, I know that if the soil is 1 year old, it will be okay. I do have to do a few things to the soil before I can start planting this pot up again, but I found that you have to replenish some of the nutrients and you have to prepare it slightly, but it's okay to reuse it, and it's good to go. So let me take you through what I'm going to do with this pot and with this soil now that I have removed the weeds. I've actually started while I'm chatting to you. I looked online actually about reusing potting compost and the soil in pots, and there was a lot of talk of sort of putting it into plastic bags and almost like baking it to get rid of the microbes and any baddies that were sort of pests and things like that. I understand this. This soil last year was fine, but I'm also weeding it. This is what I'm doing here. I'm aerating it and I'm weeding it. I'm checking also that the roots from last year are all out, apart from the very, very thin ones. I'm also checking that the drainage is still in place, but look, it's very, very good. It just needs a bit of a feed. So I'm going to empty a bit of this out. Well, I'll empty a fair bit out. I'll take it down by about 6 inches, and then I will remove that. I'll just pop it over there, and then I will top this with some good quality potting compost. I'm using this bag of compost as a little kneeling cushion. Is that what they are? I forgot my words then. Right, so I am digging this potting compost. Well, it's a multi-purpose compost. I get my hands in more often than not. I do that a lot when I'm cooking. I like to feel the food, and right now I like to feel the soil and just check that it's all well mixed in. This wall gets very warm. The sun hits it for most of the day in the summer. This will get very warm and this will need to be watered a lot. So I'm leaving plenty of room for the plants themselves, but just to get in there and give it a good water. Here are my sweet peas, one of the most fragrant sweet peas available. Pretty, creamy coloured petals with subtle violet blue, perfect for planting up trellis, obelisks, fences or cane wigwams. So basically these are going to be growing up a very warm wall in a pot. Like I said, I've done it before and it worked really well and I'm excited. 10 plants, 10. I don't need that many, not in one pot. I might have enough for the no-dig beds after all, actually, because I got 2 pots of these, which means I've got 20 sweet pea plants. That's crazy. I'm actually going to break these up. I'm just going to put 5 in here, and even that will be quite a lot. So let's just do that. They're definitely ready to come out of this pot. So I've got 3 here. There we are. So I've got 3, being quite gentle. Oh no, I've got 4 there. And then I'll take this one on the edge there. Being quite gentle with it. There we are. They came away really quite nicely. And now I'm just going to get them into this pot. I've planted them in a circle so that I can put some canes in the middle so that they can grow up there and have some support. Also, last one, just dropping it in and then supporting the little plant with the soil. There we are. These are going to need some support actually quite soon. Here are my little sweet peas. These are getting ready to grow up the wall. I will support them, of course, emotionally, mentally, physically. They will get full support. I'll also feed them, but right now they're in the pot and that's all that matters. I will water them in now. You know the little green canes that you can get? I'll start supporting them with some of those. But this is ready to go now. I'm so excited to show you the sweet peas. That lovely waft of fragrance that hopefully will come through the kitchen window. And also I've got 5 more plants there that I may put into another large pot that I have just by the front door. Yes, spring, what a lovely time. So any little project like that, like the sweet peas, I will of course take you through the process as it goes along. So once I support them with the little green canes, I'll film it and I'll put it into another vlog. I'm sorry that it's all sort of spread out like this and that some of the how-tos are not start to finish. Some of the how-tos projects on a Thursday will absolutely be start to finish, but I think certainly with some of the gardening bits and bobs, it's a process. So it will be much more of a sort of follow along, but I won't miss out any steps. I will certainly film from start to finish with the sweet peas. They're so lovely. That dog would stop pooing on the lawn.
Acting like a wild man, sleeping like a child. You're so luminous and vibrant. I'm always in bloom for you. Always in bloom. It's sunny, but very cold, certainly when the sun goes behind the clouds. But finally getting these posts up
around the no-dig beds. They've been ravaged again. So, you know, I've got nothing to, well, I can't complain basically. But these posts are going in. These are actually tree posts. They're not fence posts, which means they're less expensive than, they whack the price up when they're fence posts. So this method came from watching a YouTube video. So it's getting them into the ground about a foot, and then there will be netting up to a certain point. I think it's about 1.5 meters, and then some rope. I think it's marine rope or a wire that's going to go in between the top of the netting and the top of the pole, so it's like another one, and the deer can apparently see it and they won't jump up into it. Anyway, it's a very simple method and inexpensive, relatively inexpensive. I think this whole thing is about £125, and that gives me 100 metres of netting, which I can then use on other parts of the garden. Yeah, it's a process. It's a process, that's for sure. My sunbed is still there from last Sunday when it was like 20 degrees and glorious, and then it dropped to 1 degree this week. The whole place is looking so raggedy, but you can tell it's about to spring to life, but also it feels weirdly under control. I know what's going on. I'm sort of out here and watching it, keeping an eye on it, keeping a beady eye on it. I'm not doing all of this alone, it has to be said. I'm doing some of it on my own, but certainly not getting all of those posts into the ground. I'm not physically strong enough to do it. I can do some of it, definitely. Ned's just got back from football, so he's just taking a shower and all of that sort of stuff. And then he'll come out. But no, I'm not going to pretend that this is just me. That would be nonsense. Can do a lot of things, but yeah, some things I need help with from people that are stronger than me. Not just males either, but just help in general. Yeah. Hi. 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 So that, my friends, is the shape of my cutting garden. This is so cool, so cool. There's the two no-dig beds that I put in the other week. The willow is coming out. As you can see, it's turning that sort of lime green lemon colour there, which is scary because it's all starting now. So there's two beds there, and then I'm going to put another two in front of that, and then made it long enough to put another two in front of that. This is such a temporary structure, actually. I mean, the bed's temporary. There's been no digging. The posts are temporary. They're not cemented in. They're just rammed in. This is an amazing way to garden. If you're time poor, it's incredible. I'm delighted. I'm just hoping that it all does really well. But I think it's going to. Make sure it does. My word. I've just come in from the garden and I thought I'm having a tidy up. And I thought I'd show you, I know you've seen it before, but this is where, as I'm doing Easter this year, this is where the food will be. So on the table and up here. And so this is possibly the area that I'll do the most in terms of decorating. I'm going to do something around the door. We're having an Easter egg hunt. Now this is exciting. Let me tell you about it. It's also an excuse for me to sit down. The Easter egg hunts that we used to have when the children and their cousins were small were just the most fun. Ridiculous amounts of chocolate. My children are obviously teenagers now, and so are my nieces and nephews. And we only have one. I only have one nephew who's little still. He's 5, 6. So I think that this year is actually going to be quite special because the whole of the egg hunt is really about him. And he is supported in the fun with all of his other cousins who are all teenagers and will be there looking after him and, making it fun for him as well as us grown-ups. And I just see it happened this way at Christmas. And it was magical to see. And it made me think, how lucky would I have been had I grown up being like the youngest and all of the others being really old and just completely protective and looking after. And it was a dynamic that I'd never seen before, and one that I had never thought about. But when I saw it in action, it was magical. Absolutely magical. I'm sure there's pros and cons to being so much younger, I'm sure of it. But in this instance, it was magical, in the Christmas instance. So I'm really, really looking forward to doing it for Easter. Any of you are similar to me, I'd love to know. I can't warm up without a bath. If I said that, like I can't sit by the fire, I can't go under the blankets, have to have a bath. And I had a bath this morning, and I don't want to have another one. So I'm trying not to get too cold. It is a physical impossibility for me to warm up in any other way other than having a bath. So it's quite limiting. So I've come in under the guise of doing something, but I'm actually chatting to you and trying to stave off the freezingness. I know that's not a word. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm seeing my consultant gynecologist this week because the menopause is kicking me in the face in so many ways. Oh my God. So that's me for today. It's Saturday when I'm doing this. And this evening I'm going to embark upon Adolescence on Netflix. I have teenage children, a boy and a girl, and I'm slightly nervous about it. I went out for supper last night with the girls. So I think I've told you about this before. We go out once a month and there's 4 of us and we all try and make it. Life does get in the way, 100%. But we've all been it's been going on for, over 2 years now. And one of the girls, and we've all known each other for like over a decade. Our children went to school. And one of the girls said, "Oh, has anyone watched it yet?" And I'd heard about it and had avoided it slightly. But she said, "No, you've got to watch it." So I'm going to, but I'm not looking forward to it, but I think it might be important. So I'm going to do that. But we're in March. We're in the middle of March. And I remember doing the January vlogs and, trying to retain that sense of coziness in Hygge, even though Christmas had finished. And now we're talking about Easter. And I just thought, okay, so A, the year is flying by, as it always does. But B, I'm really enjoying it. And I'm really enjoying sharing it. And so much is sort of happening. And I don't have to experience it in a vacuum of one. It's really, really good fun sharing it with you guys and going through the whole process of stuff. And I'm finding that, suddenly I look back and it's like, gosh, we were just talking about January. I was just taking the tree down and now it's Easter. And it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. So that's all I wanted to say. Have an amazing week. But I'll see you Thursday for a project. And yes to the dahlias, definitely. In fact, Thursday might be dahlias. I'm not sure. I'm going to see how the week pans out. But have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm sending you all lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. And if there are any questions or anything that you'd like to see, I will gladly provide it if I can. Have a brilliant week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.